Welcome to Play to the Whistle, episode 49, aka It's Coming Home.
It was funny, I just realised the title just as you were introducing the show.
Listen. I did. Oh, there we go. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even see it, but I'm ready. You know,
so, it's definitely coming home, man.
Listen, do you know what? Yeah, it's been a mad few days. Seen some, especially the Italy-Spain game was a great game of football, man. Obviously, we'll get onto that soon. And then yesterday, man, crazy day. Obviously, I know we've all watched it. So, Kira, what's your thoughts on the game, man?
Which game are you talking about?
Yeah, let's start with Italy, Spain.
And then do that one first.
What was your thoughts on the Italy Spain game first?
It was a good game. I think it was kind of what you'd expect from what we've known about Spain historically and in the tournament, and Italy particularly in this tournament. I was a little bit surprised by how much Spain dominated. So I thought Italy might have a little bit more to say, but I feel like they seem quite content with trying to play on the break. I'm quite glad that from a neutral perspective, Italy went through, because I just find Spain really nice to watch. Love Pttw, but it was just quite boring. Like, they play really good football, but I just thought the pass. But no, it was an enjoyable game. The quality was excellent. Like, that's when, when someone says, what's football about? And, let me watch it. Let me watch a game to see what the fuss is about. Games like that, that's what the fuss is about. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I think Italy on the surface of things, their performance over the tournament and even in that game, to be fair, they deserve to go through and in the final. What about you, Jesse?
No, do you know what? I echo one thing you just said, yeah. I think if he's going to show someone like what's football about, yeah, that was a great advert for the game, because like sometimes when you get the two heavy, they are heavyweights historically. If you get two big teams play each other, sometimes they cancel each other out. It gets a bit boring. They're worried about like just nullifying each other. Whereas I think yesterday, they just both came to just play, man, and win the game. And it was a joy to watch, man. I think Italy started to get penned back, but I personally, I don't think they was content with it. I think Spain just really penned them back and made them go deep, made them sit deep. And Spain played some brilliant football, created loads of chances. Pedri was outstanding again. I'm not even bored of saying it. I think I've said it after every game that I've watched him play, but boy, this boy don't look like... We're going to have to check them papers, man, because he's not played like a 19-year-old boy, man. But yeah, he was fantastic. Even though Dani Olmo missed a few big chances, I thought he had a really good game.
He's a top player. He's a top player.
Yeah, he's a good player, man. And I think you said something in the group chat, Kieran, about them needing to bring on a striker, because I feel like the plan kind of worked, but then that's also where the plan broke down, because playing kind of like a false nine gave them a lot of movement and it allowed them to create more chances, but then they didn't have the nine or like someone to put it away, if that made sense. And I think once they brought on Morata, obviously that kind of changed, and obviously you got a goal. But they played well, man. But Italy defended really well. Obviously done really well on the counter-attack. It was a great finish by Chiesa. And yeah, I think I echo what you said, man. Once they went to extra time, I thought Italy would win it. And deservedly so, man, because over the whole tournament, man, they've consistently been the best side in the tournament. I know a lot of us probably wasn't expecting that, but they have been, and they've showed it in every game. Even when they've had a more difficult route, they've done it against Belgium. They've done it again against Spain, man. They were brilliant.
Yeah, I have to echo a lot of that, man, because I agree with you, Jesse. I don't think many people at the start of the tournament were talking about Italy. A lot of the conversation was about France, what they can do. Obviously, England from a sort of half biased sort of perspective. But I think a lot of the conversation, for me, after watching their group games, Italy's group games, I think a lot of that conversation definitely turned to Italy at that point, where you kind of just saw how compact they were, composed, the level of football that they were playing. And like you just said, they've played a lot of teams that they've played have been more difficult than obviously like England's played and some of the other nations as well. But just to see how they play, and yeah, they're just amazing to watch. Obviously, it's a shame for Spinazzola because I think he's been one of the best players of the tournament, not just for Italy, but
100.
it's a shame for him to not to
Hands
miss
down.
that final. Yeah, to miss the final is a shame. But I'm sure, obviously, I'm sure it'll be Emerson maybe that will play there in his place. But yeah, Italy. I mean, they had 30% possession or something like that during the game on Tuesday, and to still play the way that they did without the ball was, for me, was brilliant. It shows the level that they are. Obviously, their centre backs are experienced as well. So come Sunday in the final, that is going to be a test for them both. Really, are they going to be able to deal with the England front three? My opinion is yes, they probably will because they've got the experience about them. But yeah, Italy were the deserving team to go through, man. And yeah, it's going to be super tense on Sunday.
Yeah, I did think, Chiellini was brilliant again in that game, and so was Bonucci, and they was same again. They were brilliant against Belgium as well. They kept Lukaku quiet, and they've also, as well as Spinazzola, I think he was their best player of the tournament. But apart from like him, I thought, the centre backs have been brilliant for them, man, and even the Donnarumma as well in goal.
Yeah,
like sometimes
so
he's had nothing.
assured.
Yeah, sometimes he's had nothing to do in some of the games, especially earlier on. But once the games have got more difficult and they've been under, like, he's been tested and he's come through. Like, he's done really well, man. He's pulled off some brilliant saves. And again, a bit similar to Pedri, he doesn't even show his age. And that's mad for a goalkeeper. That's the sign of a elite, like, world-class goalkeeper. When they come in at that age and they play like the way he's playing right now, because he's not showing like any nerves. He's not scared to come for the ball. He's commanding. Obviously, he's got great like experience in front of him, but yeah, he's going to be a top keeper, and he's already shown that already. But yeah, he's had a good tournament as well.
He's got Casillas vibes. That's what he reminds you of. Yeah, 100. Because Casillas, was he about 17? I think when he made his debut. I think that season.
I think Casillas was 18 when he won his first Champions League. Yeah,
Donnarumma was 16. I think when he came in. So he's
held down the number one spot for a while at Italy as well, hasn't he? So
and he's got that,
how well he is, how good he is.
Yeah, and he's commanding, but like he's massive as well. Like he's like when you see him like on the pitch, like he's huge as well. Yeah. So obviously helps as a goalkeeper, but yeah, he's gonna have a great career, man. He'll probably win everything.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to. Obviously, we're not talking about PSG, but just as part of that group of players they've signed, yeah, definitely. I have to shout out. We had Karen on talking a little bit about the sort of German leagues, and he did shout out Italy. To be fair, like he was saying, he had France, he said England, and Italy was his other pick, and I think. With a lot of the previews, and obviously we had Alex on as well, didn't we? Obviously T.Dot, and I think a lot of people, I think that I'd watched a lot of these guys closely, and I can't put myself in that bracket because I hadn't, but I think a few people saw this coming if they could get the right mix, and I think similar with England. They've got good backroom stuff. You've got Mancini, Vialli, and there are a lot of the humble guys that have won stuff. They're not side things. You know what I mean? Like they are, and they've gone and done lots in the game. Even as managers to an extent. I know Vialli didn't have the best record at Chelsea, but I think he still did quite well there. As a player and as a manager to an extent. So I think it's come together for them. So. If obviously everybody was a neutral and England weren't in the final, I think a lot of people would be saying, Italy, definitely, that would probably be, again, Denmark aside. Yeah, for sure. Like they'd be deserving and probably their favourites. So
definitely, yeah. I agree. Yeah. If we was all 100%, if we was all neutrals, the way how they've played against everybody, even when they've got tested and they've grinded out results. And the way that they played against the stronger nations as well, you'd have to make them favourites if he wasn't going to be biased. But
is that our segue? Yeah.
Listen, obviously,
Man, are biased.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna pretend either. But
It's true, man. Gotta keep. It's coming home, man. We've been saying it
yeah,
all week.
but
Zoom
yeah, I
kicking off
feel.
again, yeah.
But no, I feel. But just before we move on, I could even see once it got to the penalty shootout. Well, even just before that, Spain kind of was still trying to create the chances, but once it got to the penalty shootout, and you could see like the huddles, you could see like the little team talks happening. Some of the Spain players, they already looked defeated, man. Like even the goalkeeper just looked nervous. He didn't look, and ironically, I tweeted it out, and I thought like he just looked defeated, but then he saved the first penalty. So football's a bit mad, but yeah, Morata just gave me that body language of like he just didn't want to be there, man. I feel like if he wasn't a striker, he wouldn't have put it. I feel like when you're a centre forward, you kind of get nudged to take a penalty in it. Like you kind of have to, in it.
Yeah, it's your job, innit?
Yeah, but I feel like it was one of them ones where he didn't even want to take
There was
that
no
penalty.
confidence. There was no confidence in the walk
But
up.
he walked up. He looked like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like he looks like
even
kind of forced.
even the run up, like it just
Yes.
it wasn't a run up. But I feel sorry for him because to this day I don't understand why he gets the stick. Like I understand, like
This is what I wanted to touch on. No. But I think I make you right. Yeah.
I just mean in the sense of like if he was like doing the Phil Foden stuff, is dyeing his hair and all of that, and saying he's the big man and talking about his feet, but he seems quite humble. Like I don't know why he gets so much hate from everyone. Like literally, the Spanish fans, the non-Spanish fans, commentators.
He was getting. I read. I think I saw it on Twitter. He was getting abuse and death threats a few days ago, but in Spain. And I look at his records. Yeah, for Spain, it's 1-2 practically. And he scored their tournament goals as well. I think he scored like 6 or 7 goals in European Championships.
I think it's the highest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the highest for Spain. So he scores tournament goals. Like he's 1-2 altogether. He's got a good record at Real Madrid. He's got a good record at Juventus. It was decent at Atletico Madrid. He's not like, I don't know why he gets so much abuse. Like I get sometimes the little bits of banter, but like the full-on abuse doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't full on abuse him because I know he got a lot of stick when he was at Chelsea as well. Like he got a lot. There was the stories that he was afraid to walk down the road. Do you know what I mean? Because of the abuse. No, it's serious though. Because like obviously you got to forget he's come to a new country. He doesn't really know the country that well. He's playing for a club. He probably lives in and around London somewhere, or the outskirts. But then to think that you don't want to come out your house because of the backlash that you're going to get is mad for me. I think that's when football goes a step too far and shit like that. I'm not into that harmless little banter. We might put like a little joke out, a little tweet, or he's going to miss this, or it's a sitter, did he miss that, all that kind of stuff. We all do that, but to actually like abuse someone for the fact that they've like missed the penalties, to me that's just crazy, man.
But even with the little bits of bants, I get the little bits of bants because we've all done it, but like when you look at his record everywhere he's been,
it's crazy.
Actually good. It's actually a good record. Like,
all of that,
He's won pretty much everything. He scored goals in all leagues. Like he's got a good record, so I don't understand. And even for Spain, international record is good as well. And he's got tournament goals with it. Because some guys have got them padded international records. They've got hat-tricks against Estonia and Moldova. They scored 4 at Andorra.
He's not like that though. He's a decent teams, aren't they, as well?
He's got good teams, good goals. That was a great goal he scored as well. That was a good team move. The link up with Olmo.
Finish,
But then he's getting abused by the Spanish fans. I don't get that. But and I don't ever agree with that. Oh, you're a footballer. You got to take the abuse. No one needs to take no abuse.
no.
You know what I mean? But it's a weird one because sometimes you look at certain players, and because he gets so much stick. I actually went on Google to actually have a look because I'm thinking like, this is a good record, like.
I'll be honest. I'm glad when he left Chelsea, but that's for his own good. Do you know what I mean? He was getting the abuse in it. He needed some. I think the deal made sense for him.
I understand. Yeah.
Because
I think that
I think that was impacting his performance on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't playing because of the abuse he was getting. His confidence was shot to a bit. So as soon as he moved and he got his loan deal, he was back to the Morata that you've just mentioned, Jesse, about the goal scoring tally was up there. But when he was at Chelsea, and that's when the fans were in the stadium as well. So imagine, like, I can only imagine what that must be like when you've got 50,000 people saying that you're rubbish and this and that. So it worked out for him though in the end as well.
Yeah, and I think Juventus have they've made it permanent this summer again.
Yeah.
So he'll hit the ground running there again anyway. But yeah, man, moving on.
Let's talk about
moving on, man.
I don't sing that song, man, but yeah,
I sing it. I sing the Southgate one, the Atomic Kitten one. I sing them. Yeah,
Cretton Conan.
No, not that one. Not that one. I'm not gonna lie, but I sing the other two. No, because that's got some mad. It's got some mad lyrics in it that don't have nothing to do with football.
Yeah, it's true, man.
And we're live, so I'm not gonna say why. But
you know what? Let me kick us off here. This feels like it's got a bit left, but
no, stop going left.
Thinking. Yeah, this is the first and final, obviously in our lifetimes, the second ever international final for England. Well, what was it like? Because we all know the score. We don't have to go into that. We can talk about the game, but just to kick it off,
I can if you want to.
No, we'll get into that. But firstly,
yeah, but what I'm saying for I'll start with you, Jesse, because I know obviously what was the atmosphere like? What was it like celebrating your country getting into a final for you personally?
Amazing. Like, I think, and do you know what the funny thing is here? Because the whole tournament, we've seen really a lot of people on social media, and when you chat to them, like complaining about England fans singing like it's coming home, and they're like, we get called arrogant for some strange reason, and like people that just want to like go against the grain and they don't want to get into it. They don't want to be, they're bitter. And it's like, I think people actually forget, that if you're going to talk about England as a club team, like we don't win anything, like at all. We just get quarterfinals sometimes, a couple of semi-finals in our lifetime. Like, I think that's the fourth semi-final. That's the fourth semi-final in the last 30 years. Like, so that's why we like this. That's why we sing, and that's why we get behind the team, because this ain't an often thing. This don't happen for us. Like Italy, I mean, this is their third Euros final, like in our lifetime. Do you know what I mean? And Spain, like that. But this is what I'm trying to say. So all these other countries, when they say to us, "Oh, why we like this?" Well, this is why, because this is like we don't get this. Like, do you know what I mean?
But other countries are exactly the same as well. That's what does my head in, because when other countries go through, get to the final, the scenes are the same. Like the scenes of people on the streets and
I'm not sure about
the cars and all that.
No, it's exactly the same. It's the same.
I don't think it's exactly the same.
You see the videos and everything, so it's definitely the
same.
I know what you're on
it's
about.
Not too dissimilar.
But I know what you're on about, but I mean, in terms of that euphoria moment and people being out celebrating the fact that they got to the final, that happens in every country you go to. Like every country does it, and for me personally,
no, I hear that.
And also to add into it before I get back to the point, some of these countries, when they lose, they're also worse than us, by the way, in terms of like rioting, tearing things up. I'm not going to name countries because we're live, but when they turn, they really do turn. So,
it's true, man.
But yeah, the feeling's nuts, and I was trying to think of like other like footballing moments that made me feel like this, and I can't even lie. I don't think there's any, if I'm being totally honest, because for that simple fact that we've never even got to a final before. So like when he missed that penalty and then got the rebound in, I went nuts. Like I went nuts because it felt like it was actually going to happen. And then when he blew the whistle and we was in the final, it's like, fucking no. Like I can't believe
surreal, though, isn't it?
I can't believe it. Yeah, it didn't sink in until
this morning.
Yeah,
same man, same thing.
I woke up and went on and checked.
I had to check the score.
I checked the news. No, I just checked it again. I had to check it again because it's crazy. It's crazy. And then you walk, like left the bar, walking home, everyone's singing. Like
it's crazy.
I took the train home. Everyone was singing on the train. Like everyone was just singing. Like it was crazy, and It's a great feeling, man.
Well, what about for you, T.Dot?
Pretty much the same, man. I think in terms of the game, I was a nervous wreck, but for the right reasons, because I felt confident. I felt confident before kickoff. The only time I felt that confidence go was when I thought it might go to penalties, and then I was a bit like, I don't know. I don't really feel confident in the plays that we had on the pitch taking penalties. But every player done their job. Again, I've said this before. Every single player done what they needed to do. Everyone was talking about Jack Grealish came on, came off. Listen, Gareth Southgate is the man that's led the team to the final, so he knows best. Do you know what I mean? It was
Simple.
he even said today as well, I think, or yesterday, they were pressing. They were pressing. It's just tactical, and as a professional, Jack Grealish is going to understand that. Like, it's shit because obviously you want to play football, but them things happen in football, man. And if it's for the country as well, it's not club, it's country.
Do it for the team. Yeah,
you got to come off and put your sliders back on, like I think you did. So it's simple.
And also, I don't think obviously in the excitement and the stress and the nerves, he actually switched to formations of 5-4-1. So that's probably another reason why he brought on Trippier, because Trippier was playing right wing back, Shaw was left wing back, Kyle Walker tucked into the three.
Yeah.
So someone had to come off to do that anyway. Obviously, people probably were saying at the time he could have taken off Sterling, but Sterling's the threat you need on the counter.
Man. Needed that pace.
He was man of the match.
Him or Kyle Walker for me, definitely. But that's why I said the whole tournament. Like, when everyone's doing their front threes and Sterling's not included in any of them, it was nuts, because your form for club doesn't matter when you play for your country. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes. And you always need that threat of what Sterling brings to the table. Foden's a good player. So is Grealish. They're good players. They're good ballers, but you need that threat in behind. Like, I don't see any of them getting that penalty that Sterling got yesterday.
Do you think Sterling could be player of the tournament?
Yeah, but I
it's
think
in
that's
contention.
I think, do you know, I'll tell you who he's in contention with, For me personally, he was in contention with Pedri and Spinazzola. And Spinazzola's not playing for the rest of the tournament, and Pedri's out. So for me, more than if he has a good final, then I think it would be him. But they're the only other two players I would have said would have beaten him to it.
I'd agree.
I think he's been ridiculous, and I think with all the stick he gets here, and do you know what was stupid with it the whole tournament? After every single game he's scored in or he's played well, people are doing their predicted starting lineups the next game, and he's not in it.
He's dropped.
So what are you lot watching? What are you lot actually watching? And even the semi-final, I saw someone do their predicted lineup. And I nearly muted them. I was going to block them. I didn't block them, but I saw it. I thought, this is nuts. How are you? You're still doing this?
Send me their Twitter. I'm going to block them.
But I saw it. I thought, come on, man. This is you. You must just have a vendetta against Sterling, because this doesn't even make sense. But no, the nerves thing, I can't lie. You held it longer than me, Theo, because I was nervous from the 15 minutes in, because I was confident until the game started. And then when I saw them the first 15 minutes, they looked like a nervous wreck. Like, everything, that the meaning of the game, the occasion, I think it got to them in the first half, because they weren't doing any of the things they've done in the previous few games, and they were making mistakes. They weren't pressing. They just looked nervous. And then I could kind of tell that Denmark started better than us. Like, they just played the game rather than the occasion. They didn't have any nerves. They played their game. They looked like the better team in the first half an hour. And then obviously it was a good goal. Well, I personally think he could have saved it, but it was a good free kick. And then I think that kind of woke us up after that. And obviously we got the goal just before halftime, and we needed that halftime whistle, man, because they just needed to just relax, settle themselves, settle down, calm down, and reset. And they came out second half, man. They played much better. Especially, I think, once it got to extra time and he made the changes, and when Foden was on together with Grealish, we had them penned in after that, and I could tell that we was going to get a goal.
Yeah, it was coming. It was coming.
It was coming after that, and I knew he was going to get the goal. And once we got it, man, it Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Euphoria,
Crazy
man.
scenes. Yeah, it was
I
euphoric.
got,
It was a euphoric moment.
I got a question for Kieran. Your
He's gonna
thoughts on
throw
the
me under the
final?
bus, isn't it?
No. It's not, man. It's not. I want to know what you think about the final. Obviously, now we know. Obviously, England, Italy.
Yeah.
What going into that game? Who do you think? It's not who's the most likely to win because it's a final. Anything can happen. But
You just want my
going into
my
that game,
thoughts
who
on
would
it.
you be more confident backing
Yeah.
out of the two teams?
Can I give a quick shout out to Denmark though? Because I feel like I think they played really well. I'm just saying. I think
sorry.
they done. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm gonna answer, but I think they were vastly underestimated, and I think they got a lot of ballers in their team, and I think that it's a shame again from just watching a game of football that they ran out of legs. I think once Damsgaard and Dolberg got tired, the game was kind of done for them. But they played well, but for England it was still comfortable. I do question whether had England not got the penalty, whether they could have scored from open play, but it doesn't really matter, and I think they would have anyway because the pressure was too much. And Sterling, I think he had 10 dribbles in the game. This is why he's my man of the match, by the way. He couldn't be touched. Like, he just had a game where he was unplayable. Do you know what I mean? Regardless whatever people think about the penalty, he was just, for the goal, he was great. Saka, I don't think it was his best game, but in the moments that counted, he did really well. But yeah, Sterling was great. But coming back to your question, it's a really tough one, and the only reason for that is because it's at Wembley, and I think that gives something for England. For me, on paper, you're looking at Italy, like, from front to back. Immobile aside, because I'm not a massive fan of him, I think he does a good job. I don't think he's a good enough striker, but we'll see. But you'd fancy Italy on paper, but don't underestimate the power of playing at Wembley, given how much it's taken a pandemic for England to be able to host in some way a tournament. And the fans, I think is it going to be full capacity? I know it's going to be at least 60,000, and most of those
I think
are
it's still 60.
It's still 60 or 67.
I don't think they've increased it. They want to try and increase it, but I think the government has said no.
Yeah, and it just depends who's going to be braver as a manager. On paper, England's defense aside have a stronger squad, because from you can bring on men like Sancho and Grealish, and you've got the Champions League winning players in there. The two teams that were in the Champions League final, English, and a lot of them men were involved in that as well. You've got Europa League finalists in there as well. My only thing, and I don't want to talk about it, and obviously not give you man a chance to give your verdict as well. My concern, I've got two. Pickford, shocking. Anyone that says he's had a good tournament, despite 5 clean sheets,
I think he's had a good tournament.
No, he's been. I think I can't remember who it was.
Germany, and
he's been average. He's been above average. And I'm not being like, I'm not trying to get anyone. I'm just
the real Kieran, man. Yes.
No. He has. Like yesterday, he was all right. He should have probably done better on a free kick. It was a good free kick. You should have done better.
Yeah, it's a brilliant free kick, man.
No, it's not. Come on, you man were in a group saying.
No.
You should save it. He should save it, but
I said it on here just now that
I know.
Yeah, he should save it, but it's still a good free kick. We can't say that it's not a good free kick.
But do you know what it was?
He should save it.
Listen, see that free kick here? When it first goes in, it looked brilliant. When you see the replay, it's in the middle of the goal practically.
He's got to save it. He's got to save it, but I don't think that could. Yeah, I don't think that could be like, he's had a bad tournament for me.
No. What I was saying was he's been average. I think people are making out he's been better than we. And I say that because, don't get me wrong, like, he's got the clean sheet record. No keeper's ever done that, and that's really good. I think that says more about the setup and the defense than it does about him. And when I see,
I was just about to say that to you though as well. Yeah,
when I see, because let's be real, Denmark's the most difficult team England have played, and they are. The Scotland game was more difficult, probably, but Denmark are the best team ranked and on paper, whether we like it or not.
What, better than Germany?
that Germany side, from my perspective, was quite washed. They
Yeah,
lost to
it's
France.
washed, but yeah, it's
They drew
washed.
to Hungary. They beat Portugal, who weren't great. Like Germany aren't shit. Don't get me wrong. And England played extremely well and deserved to win that game. And it wasn't even close. But this is not the Germany 2014 team. Do you know what I mean? So let's get it into perspective here. I'm just being real. With
I know you give good balance to the show, man. I
no.
love it.
So I
No,
think
no, it's true.
my issue is in a game that might be tight with Italy, and you know that old adage, it's gonna come down to a mistake or a bit of good fortune. Pickford worries me, and I think he should worry England fans. The other thing is just again the defense for me. Although Kyle Walker is having his best patch of form that I've seen him in a long time, and I
100%.
think the setup suits him. But I think there's been a lot of stuff covered over with. You know how I feel about Maguire and Stones, and I know a lot of people disagree, but I feel like if they're properly tested, that could be a little chink in the armor there for me personally. Other than that, England are quite flawed. The middle two, the two in midfield have done really well. They might get outplayed, but they'll do a good enough job. The front going forward, it's Harry Kane. Scored a lot of goals, hasn't been at his best, but he scored. But I'm just saying, my worry would be Pickford and Maguire and Stones. Italy, you can't really pinpoint Italy and think, yeah, this guy's a bit weak or that. Like they look quite strong as a unit and individually. So that's why I think Italy, it's going to be close. Italy on paper may have the edge, but England's home advantage might just get them through that energy. But I'm going to throw it to you, Jesse. So I know T.Dot's. I'm going to let T.Dot wait for a little bit. I'll give it to Jesse. I'm a bit.
He loaded you up with all that Pickford stuff. Then the man said, like, put it on hold, you know.
No, but sit on it for a little bit.
No, do you know what? See, I think a different thing about the Wembley thing actually, because I feel like, yeah, I think it was a hindrance in that first half, man. That sounds mad, but they played with so much nerves, yeah, that I felt like maybe it didn't help that it was at Wembley. Like maybe if it was away, maybe it would have helped a bit more because they could just like how they played in Rome against Ukraine. I feel like that maybe would have helped a bit, but maybe hopefully they're over that. What they experienced in that first half won't happen in the Italy game.
It can't. It really can't.
Yeah, it can't because they'll get punished because Italy are a superior side. So hopefully that doesn't happen. What happened in the first half? The Pickford thing. Look, I saw it on Saturday in the Ukraine game, and it's like, yeah, this is the Everton Pickford. And he made that mad. You know when he came out and he made that little mad error, and then he done something straight after the goal yesterday, and I was a bit worried. But I think overall he's had a good tournament. He pulled off a good save in that game yesterday as well. I'm happy with the defense the whole tournament, man. They've been solid. I think they've stepped up to the plate as well. I think they've improved, man. I think, you know, especially Stones. Like I feel like all season, it's kind of not really got enough credit because when he's at City, it's all Diaz, and then even people during this tournament are crediting like Maguire, but he's played the whole.
That's a bit mad.
And I think you got to give. And you got to give him a bit more respect because he's played well the whole tournament, and Roberto Carlos as well. Like he's been brilliant as well, man. No, I didn't make that up.
It's true, man.
But he's been brilliant as well. But he's been brilliant all season. But it's a tough game. And I have to be real, man. If a neutral, I'd say Italy are favourites because I think you've always got to favour a team that have played great football in a tournament, but then when they've got tested, they've answered the questions in different ways. So I think when they played Austria was the most. That's the most they've been pressed in the tournament up until that point, because they practically play like a German side, don't they? Because most of the boys play in Germany as well. And they played like that. It was all like high energy, athleticism, and Italy struggled with it. But then they, went extra time. They dealt with it. Belgium was obviously a step up in quality, and that was probably that first 45 minutes against Belgium was probably one of the best 45 minutes in the whole tournament. Yeah. Breathtaking stuff. And they got tested in that game as well, and they got severely tested against Spain, and they answered it. So as a neutral, look, you'd have to say that they are favourites because they've answered every question. I just feel slightly different. I feel like the Spinazzola effects, man. Like, if he was on the pitch, because he helps them going forward so much, because he keeps the width, so Insigne can come inside, and it gives them complete balance. Because Chiesa, or when it was Berardi, he holds the width on the right, because Di Lorenzo doesn't really come forward. So Chiesa holds the width from that side. Di Lorenzo was holding it like really high and wide on that other side, and it was like allowing them to isolate the fullbacks 1v1, and like allowing them to like dominate games. But Emerson's done a good job since he's come in, but I've noticed he's not really like bombing as much. He's not bombing as much as Spinazzola did. And when Spinazzola was in the final third, he's doing step overs, he's beating the man, like he's getting shots off and that. It was crazy. But look, as me, I'm just gonna be honest, man. That was me as a neutral, like for the podcast, but me as a fan, man. Like I've just got to believe in what we can do, and I feel like we can get them on the break, man. And let's be honest, I think he's starting the same team in it that started that semi-final. Mount, Saka, Sterling behind Kane, and I feel that's where I see Italy having more of the ball than us, and I think it's just going to count on the counters, and you know we got to get Sterling, Saka running at them, and I think that's where we're going to make the difference. If we can win the game, it will come in them phases.
Be interesting. Got to go back to the Pickford thing, man.
Hold it down for 8 minutes.
I sat on it, man. Like you told me to.
I was waiting. He's patient. He's like there, like I'll come in. Like that's it.
No, I hear both. I hear both sides of it.
I personally think he's had a good tournament. But
yeah, I do as well. I think he's had a good tournament, and I agree he has got that in him to make that really wild mistake. But I think overall he hasn't really done that over the tournament. Okay, the Ukraine one was mad. The free kick yesterday, yes, he should save that. I think there was a moment where I think it was Kyle Walker and the centre backs, they left too much of a space, and Denmark nearly scored from it. But I think he's had a good tournament. I think he's had a very, very good tournament. Considering I watch him for Everton a lot as well, it's like watching. In fact, to be honest, no, I'll take that back. When I've watched him for Everton, when he got injured during the season for Everton and he came back, that's when he changed. I don't know what happened. Something's changed while he was at Everton, and he's carried that into the Euros as well. So I think he's had a really good tournament. I agree he's got mistakes in him, but show me a goalkeeper that doesn't do that. And yeah, he does it more often, but he hasn't done it in a tournament so far. So for me at the moment, I'm happy with him. Out the two, Italy, England, I agree with Jesse. I think that the home nation thing, especially in the semi-final, the first like 15, 20 minutes, you could tell that there was pressure. And I think that was because the fans, it's about 60,000 fans, 60,000 fans there. It is obviously going to put pressure on them. But once they calm down, you could tell that the game was being played the way that Southgate wanted the team to play. So I think it's going to be difficult. I really do. I wouldn't change the lineup. I'd keep the same lineup. I think we've got to attack Emerson. He's the weak link in that team. Because like you just said, he doesn't go forward. Defensively, he's not the best either. He's good, but he's not the best. And I think down that side, that channel, if we attack that and we take advantage of it, I think that's where we're going to get the chances from. If I'm honest, I think that's where it's going to come from. I think if Spinazzola was there, it'd be a totally different story. You know, we'd be watching a totally different game. But I think if we can take advantage of that, use it to our advantage and use it wisely as well. We don't have to be rushing the game, trying to score early goals and all that. Just build up the play, do it properly, and then just take our chances the way that we need to, rather than trying to do what I think we were trying to do against Denmark and just trying to get that early goal and bang a goal in so we can try and get the nerves gone. But it backfired because they scored first. So yeah, I think obviously Italy are dangerous, but
I was going to get onto that, because
they're dangerous. But we're going to win, man. We'll win.
Chiesa also, apart from Spinazzola, he's had a brilliant tournament as well. And I think he's one of the only right-footed right wingers I've seen in a while that actually is a threat. Like, apart from Sterling, like he's actually running at fullbacks on the right and he's causing havoc. And they've obviously controlled midfield in most of their games as well, apart from the Spain game. So they've got threats everywhere. And we have to be wary about. But I agree with what you said about Emerson. And also Di Lorenzo as well, like, because in that Belgium game, Doku gave him nightmares, and that's where the penalty came from, and he couldn't handle it. And I think that's probably like I said, on both sides with Saka and Sterling, we've just got to be running at them, and I think that's where we're going to get joy from. And it's also with Harry Kane as well. Like, it's weird because I was getting annoyed with him for dropping deep and linking up and like trying to hit passes, but then that's where the goal came from. So it's like, what do we know, innit? Like, as fans, like,
I don't think that's the case though. I feel like he wasn't fit to be in the tournament, and there's a time and a place. So you're well of it. I think you were both right at the beginning where you were saying, do you need to do that against Czech Republic, against Scotland? Not really, but against better teams like Denmark, yeah, you do, because you need to create that space. And again with Italy, yeah. So I think you actually, to be fair, you were both spot on with that. I think he's improved since the tournament's gone, but this talk of him being the best player, and it's been Sterling. Like, it's kind of a bit. I mean, another topic, but it's a bit irritating when he's been seen as the savior and this and that, and it's like, no, he's just got the captain's armband, but. The true warriors out there, Walker, Stones, to be fair, he has
Rice,
played well.
Rice and
Phillips, to be fair, yeah,
Rice and Phillips have been brilliant.
They've all played well, man.
Yeah, Kane's just been the icing on the cake, really.
I agree with you though, and I've said this the whole tournament though. I think Sterling has been the player of the tournament for England, and I think that's obvious. But we know what the media's on. We know what they're on.
Yeah,
we're live and. We know that's probably a stay tuned topic.
Anyway,
but we know what they're about. Yeah, we know what they're about. So he got man of the match yesterday, which was strange to me, but
we know why. But I think England's best chance of winning, when I look at it, right, and again, this is just cold-hearted facts. Yesterday was the first time, I think, with extra time, the group stages. No one's really had to get out of like second or third gear. Italy have had some tough games. They've had some long games. They've picked up some injuries. So I can't remember, sorry, who said it, but the patience, I think it was you, T.Dot. Literally, you can wait until the 70th, 80th minute, because that's when the crowd will get up. You can bring on, look at what players can come off the bench and do damage. And I think that's where Foden's at his best. I think there was a bit too much hype around him, but where he is very good and probably better at most in that England squad is coming off the bench and running from midfield, attacking guys, winning free kicks, like dribbling past, man. So I think an early goal for Italy, a bit tricky. I think if England score early, that will do more harm than good. I feel like if England just relax and just wait, keep it 0-0, and then do something a bit later, I don't think Italy will have the legs to keep up with them. I think England have too much quality to come off the bench and, change things, adapt things. I think it will be too much. That's just my view of the best way that England can probably go out and win that final on Sunday.
Yeah, I just think England have to be aggressive as well in everything they do, like in their pressing, in their running, in running off the ball with the attacking and defending, like. They've got to press high. They've got to be aggressive, but also when, we're attacking, Luke Shaw's been doing it anyway, and he done it in the game yesterday. We've got to be running into spaces that overlaps. That's where we're going to hurt them, because we've got more athleticism in our team than they have. But yeah, my main thing is the boys have just got to relax, man. They've just got to, as long as they're not nervous on the day. They don't let the occasion get to them, and they just play their football, man. That's where they've got their best chance of winning the game, in my opinion. It's like mentally, as long as they don't let the occasion get to them, they've got a chance.
I have to agree, man. Got to agree, man. But he's coming home.
I was going to say,
Sunday.
You lot talking about tactics. It's just coming home. That's it. Just turn up. It's coming home. Sing the song.
No, not turn up. It's
goals. It's all good, Steve.
No, it's not. No, that's us as fans. Them boys have got to not be nervous, relax, but also take it. They are going to take it very serious because it's Italy. But yeah, man, let us get carried away in that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they can get carried away afterwards. You know what I mean?
We will get carried away afterwards, man. Yeah, as everyone has been already.
We'll work on Monday for no one.
Yeah, sign the petition.
That's what
sign the petition for a bank holiday.
Yeah, we need one, man.
Let's get that going, man. Because nothing's happening on Monday, really. Let's be honest.
To be really honest.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, you man ready for episode 50?
Of course, man. And also, yeah,
100%,
thanks for everyone that's listened so far, man. That's listened to all the episodes that give feedback, whether it's in private, like, or they comment on the socials, man. It's always welcome. It's needed, and yeah, it helps us as well. So, yeah, thanks to all the listeners so far, man.
Yeah, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Like and subscribe, all of that stuff as well, man.
Yeah, man.
We'll let Kieran have the last word.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming home, yeah. Where's it coming? Where's it coming, Jesse? Where's it coming?
It's coming
Is
home,
it
man.
coming home? Is it coming home or going to Rome?
Coming home.
That's
Is
the
it
real
coming
one.
home on episode 50?
It's coming home. We was at the gate, now we're at the door. We're at the front door, man. We're knocking now.
Yeah,
We're at the door, man.
I hear you.
First time in
100.
55 years.
It's happening, yeah.
Yeah, man. Fingers crossed, man.
See you out
That's all
there.
we can do. That's all we can do is hope and hope they get it done.
Yeah. Cool. Well, obviously tune in on Monday, or I don't even know. I can't imagine we'll be recording
I
on
won't
Sunday.
be in a fit state to record Sunday.
So
Yeah.
tune in
Or
on
probably Monday.
No,
I might-
tune in on Monday, man. We'll definitely get it done on Monday, and obviously it's the Copa America final as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
that's a good point. man.
I'll do that coverage because I know you, man, ain't gonna be in the stadium.
No, yeah, I'm not. Let's not.
Just put it on your Sky Plus and just pause it
not
at
kidding
like
anybody.
10
No, I'm gonna-
o'clock,
I'm
and you
gonna-
can fast forward it.
Yeah, it'll be on replay on iPlayer anyway, so I'm gonna watch that 100%, and
Yeah.
then so we can cover it properly because it's a big final.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Definitely.
See
Cool.
if Messi can actually win a trophy at international level.
Man's talking about you want to dance, huh?
Wow.
All of that. All right. Catch up with all of you soon. See you on Monday.
Yeah, peace up, man.